Hi, Roberta here with journal number 8 in the series of the Summer Challenge, 5 journals in 5 weeks on the Facebook group Junk Journal Junkies. This is one that maybe could be considered a cheat for the challenge. I'm not sure, because it is a journal that I actually started a while ago for a swap, and got very frustrated with it. It was the first time attempting to use my cinch, and it didn't go well, and there was no way I was going to make the deadline, and I ended up ripping it apart. And then when this challenge came up, I decided to give it a try and see what I could do about putting it back together. Still had some challenges, but I'll show you how I sort of overcame those. This was my first time, as I said, using the cinch, and my first time using a chipboard cover. So it really is a very hard cover, and the theme of this was gardens, so this was to be a garden journal. So on the cover I've got a download from Pinterest, which is a seed packet, a vintage seed packet, and then I used a die to make some flowers. And on the inside, I've got some paper from one of my favorite paper packs and another seed packet, and inside that is a pocket that has some tulips on it, and then a picture of a butterfly on some flowers, which seemed in keeping with the garden theme, and then a green background with some more flowers creating a pocket, and a tag in there that has on it a package of lettuce seeds. And then I've got some coffee dyed paper for writing on, and this was just a beautiful piece of paper from a packet, and I will link the name of the paper pad down below, assuming that I can find it. And I punched out a butterfly, and then there's just room to write on the back, and another piece of coffee dyed paper, and this one is strawberries and looks like wild blueberries and raspberries, and I used an edge punch, put a coin envelope on the back with some more flowers and a butterfly cut out on it, and then another tag that has room to write but also has some little cutout butterflies on it, and another piece of that pretty paper with the flowers. And that's also a double-sided paper. These were little tiny bags that I found, I want to say, at Hobby Lobby on sale, and they were really cute little bags. And I put some tags in there, just plain old, really almost like a journal card. I put 2 of those in there, and a very small tag with a butterfly on it. So there are 3 things in there. And another piece of coffee dyed paper, and then I made a corner pocket. And in the corner pocket, I put a plain journal card with a butterfly cut out. And then this one is one that I used a Sizzix die to cut it out, but I left the folds intact so that it could be opened up and used for writing on. And then I got very lucky, and I think it was a thrift store in Florida where I found a book about gardening. So I just cut out one of the pages that was out about a certain type of plant, and on the opposite page I have a picture of that plant. On the next page, another seed packet and some more coffee dyed paper, some more paper from one of those packets with some edge trimming. Pretty paper. Some more coffee dyed paper. Got a little carried away with the butterflies on this one. This was actually an edge punch that made this, and I put this, and I'm positive that this is an Ephemeris Vintage Garden printable, and I just used the edge punch and then cut it off so it's not really folded over like a doily would be. There are 2 separate cuts on either side of the page. And this was something that I found on Pinterest a long time ago, and I've just had it in my stash. And some more scrapbook paper. And then over here there's a little quote about gardening that I put in. This is a bag that I picked up on Amazon. And in the bag I put a rather large journal card. Could be a photo mat on the other side possibly. And here we have a paper clip with a banner that I made with the word exquisite, and a journal card that I think was part of a paper pack, but I can't swear to it right now. And coffee dyed paper, and another piece of paper from one of the paper packs that I just made a pocket out of, and put another one of those folded pieces of paper, coffee dyed paper, and a stamp from a stamp set that I really like using in journals. This was also, no, this wasn't from a book. This was a printable that I found on, I believe, just searching on Google. And it's about culinary herbs and tells a little bit about the different kinds of herbs. So I thought that was interesting in a garden journal. This was a piece of vellum, and because I didn't know how the cinch would work with the vellum, I glued some scrapbook paper to it to make it a little bit thicker and sturdier, because the first time around it didn't go well using the cinch with the vellum. It might have just been me, but it didn't go well. And another piece of coffee dyed paper and a butterfly cutout, just a little gold paper clip with some green ribbon. Here's another piece of paper from that one paper pack, and another folded piece of coffee dyed paper to journal on. That's really pretty paper. I think you can see it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. Here's some more coffee dyed paper, and this was a new edge punch that I just picked up, Martha Stewart, and I thought it was so pretty. Kind of looks like a vine, so that seemed good for this. And this was a do-over, and it was still a mistake. Something happened with it, and it ended up that no matter what I did, this piece of paper ended up like hanging out down here. And I didn't want to just tear it out, even though I was tempted to. So what I did was I took my little tiny fussy cut scissors and I cut right in between these things here so that I could take this out and trim it and then stick it back in. And you know what? I think that's just fine. And this is a glassine bag, and I used an edge punch that does flowers to create this, and I just glued it onto the bag just to make it a little bit more sturdy. And inside the bag I added a Project Life journal card with lines on both sides. I used my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher, so I covered the staple up with a little cutout and used that stamp that I used before that I like. And another piece of coffee dyed paper with a paper clip with a little piece of ribbon on it. And another piece of paper from that paper pack. And another trifold coffee dyed paper for journaling on. And some more coffee dyed paper. This one was also kind of a fail. Even the second time around, it didn't fit, and the paper was hitting the rings, and so I just trimmed the paper up a little bit so that it would fit. Clearly I need some advice on how to use this cinch, and actually some very nice people have given me some advice, and I'm just not getting it, so I'll keep working on it. It's not perfect, but it's so pretty that it kind of makes up for the fact that it's not perfect. Little quote that says, "Bloom where you are planted," that I thought was really cute. And this is a printable, I want to say from Pinterest, and I just attached it with one of these little clips that I got at Hobby Lobby. And then, yeah, and that's the other thing. It just doesn't want to close, and that's the back of it. Okay, so any advice on using the cinch will be happily accepted. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments below, and I'll be along shortly, or maybe tomorrow, with number 9.